We have made it to March. Welcome to the March 2025 energy reading, where we're going to be talking about the magic of March, eclipse season, new moon eclipses, full moon eclipses, and the long-awaited energetic new year. Let's immediately get into the energy of March, because it's really important that we understand the universe's impact and like the energy's impact on us and the opportunities that we're going to be receiving, so that when we pull the cards and pull the messages through the cards, we understand exactly what we need to be focusing on. Now, as I just mentioned, on March 20th, we are going to be celebrating, and please let us celebrate this, a new astral energetic year. Okay, and this is going to be brought in and ushered in by the spring equinox, the start of spring, okay, for us on the northern hemisphere. For those of you on the southern hemisphere, which I don't know if I have anybody tuning in from the southern hemisphere, let me know. For those of you on the southern hemisphere, it is going to be the autumn equinox for you. But for us on the northern hemisphere, we're celebrating spring equinox, and for all of us, it is the start of Aries season. We've been in Pisces season for at least a week as I'm filming this right now, and Pisces season is again super important because it's the end of the astrological calendar. It's the end of the zodiacal calendar, the astral calendar. It's the final sign. And so, like I always say, the signs always come through to like tell us a story, to weave a story through the 12 months. And Pisces season is a very dreamlike, very like, I mean, in its worst, it's delusional and delirious and kind of just like very like, I know your dreams have been crazy. I know your dreams have been crazy because my dreams have been crazy. I just finished leading a Repower hour, watched the replay, which is here. We were talking about it and I was asking everybody, how are your dreams? And everybody was like, oh my God, my dreams are crazy. And I think that is because Pisces season, like the energy goes into us through our brains and reaches into our subconscious to pull up the things that we really need to be paying attention to. Okay, and that can sometimes result in really vivid, really crazy dreams where we are remembering what's happening. Write them down. There are messages in your dreams. There is guidance in your dreams. Sometimes we cannot easily connect with benevolent ancestors and our guides in our waking moments and in our meditations and our intentions or whatever, in our spiritual work and in our spiritual time with ourselves and with God. But sometimes it can happen in our dreams. And so make sure you have something of like a notepad, or like you have your phone next to your bed, pull up your notes app and just type up whatever it is that you remember, so that you can begin to interpret what are these little pieces and messages that I'm getting, because that is most likely bringing you into clarity for what you need to be focusing on the next 12 months. So Pisces season is really a time of reflecting, of recalibrating mentally, physically, spiritually, and if anything, planning how we are going to continue recalibrating, reflecting, and really standing and remembering our power through the year. This is a perfect time. The Visions Unbound Workbook, here come the sirens, letting you know, ooh, ooh, ooh. Ooh, ooh. Listen, the virtual version is still on sale, and I like the virtual version because you technically never have to buy it again. However, the paperback version of the Visions Unbound Workbook is extra powerful because we are putting pen to paper, because we are allowing the intentions to move through our physical body onto the paper. We are holding it. We are putting ink to page. It's just such a beautiful alchemizing moment where we get to ritualize our intentions. And so do with that information what you will, what you want to, but I think it is a super, super, super biased, but true. It is just such an incredible tool, an incredible comprehensive tool that really encompasses reflection and recalibration, because there's meditations in there that you can scan and do with intention setting, powerful, powerful intention setting, with also goal setting. It's just, love it. Love that I was able to bring this to life. Let me know if you purchased it, if you've already used it. If not, do you know you got 30 minutes?
Do you know you have 30 minutes? Are you kidding me? 30.
And so going from Pisces season into Aries season with this portal for this energetic new year is so incredibly special, because we go from this season of like reflecting and recalibrating and really dialing in on like, oh, this is the pulp of the lessons and the opportunities that I've lived through in the last 12 months. This is what I'm going to take with me for the next 12. This is what I know. This is what I know. This is what I know to be true of myself. This is what I actually believe. Even if I'm not living it yet, I believe it. I believe in myself. This is my authentic truth. This is my essence. And even though I may be like afraid to express it fully, I'm open to learning and I'm open to taking this energy with me in the next 12 months. That's what this season says. And that's what this time is saying for us. And so Aries season is super special because it is the first astrological sign. It is ruled by the planet Mars. Mars, this planet of action and initiation, is just a beautiful, beautiful time and a really auspicious time for us to embrace new beginnings. And so the sun's moving into Aries season aligns with the spring equinox. So the equinox is a really powerful portal as well. So like it's portal on portal on portal on portal on portal. It's like, are you coming or are you staying? None of us want to stay where we are right now. None of us want to stay. Okay, let's go. Let's go into greener pastures. Let's go into like a better world. Let's go into like more pleasure, more abundance. Just like, it's just such a beautiful, magical doorway to like, what's your personal heaven? I also have a meditation on that I'm gonna link in the description box. What's your personal heaven? It's like, how do we take our ideas into action now? And Aries season supports this. And then we have the spring equinox, right? Equinox. I know I'm all over the place, but like this is what it feels like. This is what it feels like to me. Equinoxes are special and important because they mark when the days and the night becomes equal. On just the day of the equinox, day and night become equal. There are equal hours of day and equal hours of night. And it symbolizes this like cosmic reset. We start to receive more light in the day. We get more time with the sun in the day as we inch closer and closer to the summer solstice. And again, it's this cosmic reset. It's this opportunity to start anew, to embrace new beginnings, to press go on all the things that we've been setting intentions on. We should have been from December 21st, from the winter solstice to the spring equinox, really wintering. This is what I've meant all along. Like this is that chunk of time is the time where we should have been and still be wintering, resting, reflecting, recalibrating, all the R's, doing the work to really dial in and dial down on what is the truth, what is false, what doesn't belong to me, what do I no longer want to carry with me, what connections are no longer serving my growth, what connections am I no longer serving growth to. It's not all about what's impacting you, but how are you impacting people, connections, places, things, habits. Like sometimes you're just not in alignment, and if you don't take the time to sit and assess that, sometimes you never know, and you go years and years and years in these connections and in these relationships with people, places, things, habits, behaviors, and mindsets that don't serve you. They're not right for you. They're not fertilizing you in any type of way. And I'm just reflecting on the readings that I've done with clients throughout the years where like people are like, why am I not growing? And lo and behold, they're super invested, showing up consistently, because everybody talks about consistency, but like, what are you showing up consistently to? It's not all about consistency. It's about intentional consistency. What kind of decisions are you intentionally making or unintentionally making, which is worse? And if it's not getting you anywhere, why haven't you made the decision to shift out of alignment with that and into alignment with this? Is it because this is uncomfortable? That's the work that happens during wintertime. We get the time to power down, tune in into what's really happening, okay? And so we have the March 14th full moon lunar eclipse in Virgo, which is a super important time, activating our south node. Our south node is like what we have to release and let go of. And this full moon lunar eclipse in Virgo is going to be highlighting like our perfectionism, our over-functioning, our like, where are we overdoing it? And this comes into play. Like maybe we're super invested in like trying to be perfect and trying to manipulate. Maybe if I just do this more or get this right or like do the most in this area of my life, this beautiful vision will come to life. And it's just like, no, we need you to do less or we need you to do more in this sector of your life. We need you to like really dial down to the truth, not this false belief that if you do more here, these beautiful things are going to happen for you. And so that is it's like a shedding of what Virgo is about. This eclipse, this full moon eclipse, which full moons are ripe for releasing, is going to not only give us the opportunity to release, but it's a karmic moment that is going to make us release wherever it is that this is happening in our lives. So brace yourself and let these eclipses be times where we start to like chill and just brace ourselves to be kind of like snatched up by the cosmic broom, because it's going to happen. And then on March 29th, we have this new moon solar eclipse in Aries, which is activating our north node, what we need to come into, like our north node, our destiny. And this is really going to be challenging us to not only embrace new beginnings, but pushing us into new beginnings. This is an energy that says no more asking for permission, no more waiting, no more like writing intentions. It's like, I'm pushing you on the stage. It's like no more like reading your lines over and over and over. I am pushing you on the stage of life. And so again, slowing down around those dates so that you can brace yourself and best mentally, physically, and spiritually prepare yourself to be pushed on stage, to have your shit snatched from you because it doesn't really belong to you. Okay, and this is what eclipses do. I don't want to fearmonger because that's not what I'm here for, ever, ever, ever. However, I do want to put into perspective how important these moments are. And I want you to even look back. If you want to go ahead and do your own research, when the eclipses have been in the past and what was happening in your life then. You wouldn't have to do research if you had a journal where you wrote these things down. I'm just saying. But look back at these dates and sort of look at what was happening during these eclipses. For instance, I take a look at one of the most impactful eclipses that I will never forget for the rest of my life happened at the end of June of 2019. That was the month that I turned 30 years old, which started a new decade for me, but I also lost my brother. My brother died during eclipse season or during an eclipse weekend. And that revolutionized my life, not just because I lost my only sibling, but because my brother's death signaled, it opened up a portal for me. He not only became a guardian angel for me, but ushered me into this life of serving as a spiritual teacher. One of the only reasons why I know that I have and can use my spiritual gifts in this way is because my brother passed. And that's a story that I'll tell y'all another time, not right now. It's just to give you an example of like how revolutionary these cosmic movements can be. And so really pay attention, okay? March 14th, full moon eclipse, get ready to release. March 29th, new moon eclipse, get ready to just jump on stage. Get ready to sing, girl. Guy, theys, thems, all of y'alls, get ready to sing because you're gonna get pushed on stage. Okay, and that's sort of like, I don't want you to be scared. I want you to like really like say thank you. Jumping back to like thinking about the messages that we got in February about moving forward and letting go and just moving forward with gratitude for the opportunities that we're getting. It makes the journey that much more sweet, that much sweeter. When we say, oh my God, I can't believe I'm here on stage, instead of being like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening to me. It's like, I can't believe I'm here. Okay, what are we going to do? What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? And having that like pep talk with ourselves. This is where your routines come into play. Okay, I'm going to stop yapping. That is really what's going on. Oh, before we go into the reading, I do want to touch on the guidance that I receive from my spirit guides. As we know now, I always sit with my guides and sort of pull from the ethers the guidance that they want to offer to us, besides what's going on cosmically and what is going to be pulled from the cards. And what they said was this. They said, verbatim, March is going to be a time of letting go, but standing your ground. March is going to be a time of releasing, but not in powerlessness, in strength. Okay, it's a reminder that releasing will sometimes feel like you're losing the battle, but you're not, because you're in it for the full scope of the war. They shared with me that what can sometimes feel like defeat is actually strategy. Sometimes it feels like a setback, but it's actually realignment, which is something that we've all heard before, but this is especially important this month. They said, don't get distracted by tiny losses. Okay, it's kind of like the vision that I was getting when I was receiving this was kind of like a bully, just like like talking your face like and just like mocking you, but you standing in your power, right? Because if you fought back, you're both going to get in trouble. But if you stand in your power, they will get in trouble. So it's kind of like letting you stand in your power, be the statement, be the political statement, because this is definitely going to show up politically for us in the collective sense, and individually for us, allowing ourselves to stand in our power while this bullshit is happening, to let sort of like evil or like wrongdoing or like whatever's not in the right reveal itself to everybody else needs to be revealed to, without you having to be like like very much picking your battles type of energy. They literally said like sometimes you have to let the enemy think they're in power so that they can stay loose and comfortable. And it's when they're loose and comfortable in their wrongdoings and in their bad habits that we can really make the most change. I still have to sit with this. I'm trying to grasp the seed of like what this really means. I'm sharing it here with you because I just pulled it out from the spirit tree for us before we start this reading. And I'm very curious how that's going to show up for us collectively in the world. I feel like we already see that happening in the news and definitely politically for us, especially in America. But just let's all pay attention to how that shows up for us collectively as well as individually in our own lives. Let's start the reading. We're going to start with the Goddess Guidance Oracle deck by Doreen Virtue, choosing a card or cards. Yoshi says hi. For our first message, collective message for March 2025, what we need to know for our highest and greatest growth, our opportunities, what we need to know to make the most of this month. Okay, we just got a card, quickly flipped over in the deck, and it came up upside down, which always means emphasis for me. And it is the card, the Goddess Cordelia. Go outside. You have been indoors too long. Go out and get some fresh air. And this is absolutely a very Aries, very spring equinox card. I mean, look at the imagery and see what relates to you here. But this is absolutely a like, okay, it's time. Time to go on stage. Time to go outside. You've been indoors too long. The wintering is going to be done March 20th. We're done. We're starting to like take our steps. We got our Bambi legs. We're walking very slowly, but we have to walk slowly in order to run. Okay, it's also coming through that just because you're going outside doesn't mean you need to like go and start running. Go slowly. Pace yourself. We have a full 12 months of seasons to really take action in. Okay, it's not just like, oh my God, I'm gonna press go on everything in March. Slow down. Okay, slow down. It is not that serious. You need to calm down. There are some things that still need time to ripen in your life. Relationships, I'm seeing like there's two things that are coming up: love and like creative projects. Love, some of y'all are dating, or like even friendship, like just like love in people, friendships and like romantic relationships. Don't rush. Calm down. Calm down. Do not rush and like scare people away, because some of you are dealing with people who are scared to be vulnerable. And just know that everybody's on their own process, okay? In creative projects, is coming through that some of you still need to work on your projects. Like this is the time to press go on like final edits, but not fully releasing. It's also just giving like eclipses are really volatile energy, and so releasing a full, this is it, I've been working on this for so many months during March probably isn't the best idea. If you feel truly in alignment with releasing something or doing something creative wise, some type of project in March, you know you. You know yourself best. You know your energy of your life best. Do what feels in alignment for you. But this is just coming through as like, make sure you check your work. It's almost feeling very like Mercury retrograde-ish. Like make sure your I's are dotted, your T's are crossed. Check your work before you like fully release into the world. But go outside, because you've been inside too long. You've been ideating for too long. Like it's time to just do the damn thing. Do the thing. Do the thing. It's no more like waiting and being shy. And some of you guys are like, I'm also getting the reminder of like and just the vision of like, some of y'all think you're being humble, thinking about humility. Some of you think you're being humble, but you're like being fearful. It's not humility, it's fear. And it's like playing small and being shy. And it's like you have nothing, like, pump your chest. This is a time to pump your chest. This is not a time to be, oh yeah. No. Pump your chest, talk your shit. This is a great time to go over after reviews with bosses and like talk about promotions and like what you want to do to create change in your organizations, jobs, fields, vocations, whatever. Even if you're your own boss, give yourself that promotion. But pump your chest. This humility, it's like fear. It's like, what will they think about me if I truly outwardly express how much I believe in myself? And it's like, that. Believing yourself outwardly, when other people, this is like also like coming through, is like when other people, when the world sees how much you believe in yourself, they're inclined to check you out and see, okay, they really like are pumping their shit. Let me check them out. Let me see what they're about. When somebody's just very like, this is what I have to offer, would you believe somebody? Would you want to work with them, date them, love them, be their friend, be in community, whatever with them? If they're just kind of like, some of you are inclined to say yes. However, this has been coming up a lot, not only in my readings, but in life. Some of you guys may say yes to the person just like this, but in like pena. And why can't I remember the English word for pena? And that's not a fruitful energy. It's not a fruitful energy. If there's anybody in your life that you feel like this about, that you keep them close just because you feel bad for them, right? That's not, no. You need to check yourself out the fucking door, because it's not helpful for yourself and it's not helpful for them. That is not love. Feeling bad for somebody is not love. It's something that I've been wanting to talk about for a while, and I didn't know when it was going to show up, but it's showing up now. Feeling bad for somebody is not love. It's not helpful. It's actually really harmful energy. It's you being afraid for them, and it's also you projecting your fear onto them and onto their aura. And if they're existing in a way that makes you want to feel bad for them, it probably means that they have a weak aura anyway. And so you just projecting that energy onto a weak aura is going to make that person feel worse, and is going to impact them in great ways, especially if you're very close in proximity. Whatever. I'm going to move on from that. But this is not a time to like play small, boast your energy. Boast your energy. Work on your aura. If anything at all, if you are not recalibrating and not recalibrating, but not reflecting on how you want to recalibrate your relationship to your mind and body this year, I don't care if you have a 12-pack abs. There is work to be done. And the work that happens in your body and mind affects your aura and will either strengthen your aura or will weaken it. We all need to be working with strong ass auras. I know I'm cursing a lot. Whatever. I don't care. It's the way that it's coming out, and it's the way that I feel. As this reading is coming through me, as this energy is coming through me, it's just like, cut the shit, please. Like, let us pay attention to what our bodies and minds needs, and let us get into action. Act on what our mind and body needs, because we can't be out here begging for greater, like, oh my God, please bring us personal and collective liberation, if we are like shackled by our own habits. So it's cutting the shit, it's going outside, it's making the decisions, it's saying the things, it's moving in the ways that align with the life that we want. Ooh, I am fired up. Let's choose our next card. It's coming from the Work Your Light Oracle deck by Rebecca Campbell. And let's see what our next message is for March 2025. Okay, card jumped out of the deck. Oh my God. And it is protection. Every time I see this card as a New Yorker, I just see a bunch of angels from the Bronx. If you know, you know. This is my Bronx Angels cards. But for real, this is the protection card. Protection card. And you know what? What's initially coming through is not just the importance of energetic hygiene and protection, yes, and I have a masterclass on this that you can purchase, and if you use the code YouTube, you can get 20% off. You didn't hear it here, but you heard it here. This is also coming through as protection from yourself, because you are the only person that keeps you from going outside. So it's like, how can you either set more or release some of the boundaries that unnecessary boundaries that you've placed on yourself? Be protective about your journey. And that also means protecting yourself from yourself, protecting yourself from your own bad habits, from your own patterns. And I say bad habits, and it feels, I don't even like to use those words. Unhealthy patterns. I like that better. Because nothing is neither bad or good. Every decision, everything is always neutral. We give it the connotation that we want. And I like that language, and I live by that, honestly, in my own life. Poor habits, poor behaviors, poor patterns. We can stay in the same pattern, or we can shift. Shit happens when shift happens, okay? And so protecting yourself from yourself. Do you see how this is the same person over and over and over again? That's you, baby. And listen, you're not alone. I am in a season, and in these next couple of days, really putting the pedal to the metal on the ways that I am not protecting myself from myself, because I'm pretty honest with myself about my own bullshit, but making shift happen so shit can happen for me. And I talk about this sometimes on Instagram. I spoke about this yesterday. Like, I can complain, or I can do something with the anger and frustration that I'm feeling. I can put it into my art. I can put it into my pattern shifting. I can put it into my shifting of my behaviors and my mindset. I can start talking my shit about how much I believe in myself, how much I believe in the work that I'm doing, how much I believe in my offerings, so that when other people see me, they could be like, yeah, she doesn't have 100,000 followers, but she believes in herself. And when I check her comments, her people believe in her too. Magic, okay? It is magic when you are honest with yourself. Be very honest with yourself. Honest with yourself. When you are honest with yourself, you brim in authenticity, even if it doesn't feel good, okay? You brim in authenticity. You are in touch with your inner essence. You are in relationship with your higher self. Your higher self can best communicate with you when you are being honest with your physical self. And when that happens, your energy starts to recalibrate itself. Yes, there is physical work and things that you need to move around and do on the physical realm. But energetically and spiritually, that shit, it starts to happen for you. Your wisdom and like your spirit and your energy is intelligent and wise. Don't be arrogant enough to think that, oh my God, you also need to do the spiritual work behind the scenes. No, baby. You do what you need to do in human realm, because you are human, a spirit incarnate. Make the decisions and the changes. When you're honest with yourself, you are honest, and you can have clear communication with your higher self, with your being, with your soul, with your spirit, with God, with your benevolent ancestors, with your spirit guides, angels, animal messengers, all of them, everybody, the whole 9 yards, everybody, la patrulla 15, okay? And when that happens, everything in your life starts to reorganize itself to make space for your honesty, to make space for how big and authentic your aura and your being gets when you are honest with yourself. I know I'm not putting that in the best words. We'll keep talking about this, but it's facts. I see it time and time and time again, not only in my own life, but in the hundreds and hundreds of readings that I've done in the last 5 years, almost 5 years. How people's lives start to change when they shift their relationship with themselves. Sometimes people don't make changes because it feels daunting, and I get it, to think about, oh my God, I really want to be that version of myself. Like I just did this future meditation with Melanie Santos, where I met my future self, and they are insanely amazing. And I so want to be that person, but it just feels so daunting that I would have to make all of these changes or have to do all these things. And it's just like, no, it starts with one change, one shift in belief with yourself, one shift in your mindset, shift in internal patterns, for your energy to shift. When your energy shifts, your whole life changes. You talk differently, you move differently, you are in community differently and with different people. So just know, like, all it takes, like, we can have this whole, and I keep seeing this image of like a room full of dominoes. It's not that you have to individually go and like push each domino down. It takes one flick of a finger, boop, one action to create this insane ripple effect that ends up changing your whole life. So this is coming through as like, that's the type of protection that is coming through. And also an emphasis on energetic cleansing and protection, especially because we're in eclipse season. Energy is volatile. People are going to be, the people that are not paying attention to these things and not taking care of themselves are going to be extra volatile as well. Your animals may be volatile. I swear to God, this little guy is already feeling the effects of of full moons and eclipses and new moons and all this stuff, because he gets a little wild as well. Paying attention and really focusing on what are the routines and structures that are going to sustain you and not drain you. We are getting somewhere really, really potent, guys. Okay, let's go into the Spirit Messages deck by John Holland. A really old but beautiful deck as our third message for March 2025. All right, we had a card flip over in the deck, and it is the card. Yo, I swear, y'all just saw, this is why I post myself shuffling the cards and the cards falling or me choosing them, so that if there's any doubters, and I've had doubters and haters and people who are skeptical before, if there's anybody who doubts that these cards are for real, that these messages are coming through in divine time and for us, if there's anybody who thinks that I'm out here choosing the cards before the reading, they know. Look at this card. What was the message that my guides gave us? March is going to be a time of letting go, but standing your ground. Our third card is Stand Your Ground. And again, this is the Spirit Messages deck. Oof, I got goosebumps everywhere. Stand your ground. Stand your ground. Standing your ground is an empowering, confidence-building action to take from time to time. Now is the moment when you need to stand your ground. You know you can do it, and you know that by doing so, you will be the victor. Okay, we're talking about winning. We're talking about winning, and it can only happen when you do these things. When you cut the shit for yourself, okay? Stop the crap. You go outside. You go outside and you stand your ground. Stand your ground against all the forces of cringe, all of the forces of evil, all the malevolent forces of wrongdoing. You stand your ground, you stand your power, because the world needs you now more than ever. You stand your ground in the things that you have to say, in the love that you have to share, in whatever which way you feel like you need to share it, in your art, however it is that your art shows up is amazing. This is a way that I share my art. This transformative experiences and through video and in-person experiences are my art form. Meditation is my art. Breathwork is my art. Kundalini yoga is my art. Sharing my word and my wisdom and the wisdom of spirit and the universe and energy is my art. Your art may be teaching. Your art may be the way that you handle customers at your job. Your art may be parenthood, the way that you raise a child, the way that you raise an animal, the way that you guide people, the way that you keep things clean. It doesn't matter what you do in the world. Your art may be making people laugh. Your art may be making people feel beautiful and confident. I was thinking about this the other day because I got this incredible haircut, and I was just thinking about, I almost cried after my appointment because I had been feeling so like just ugly about my hair, and I got this haircut and my confidence just has been soaring ever since January when I got this haircut. And I thanked him for his art, because there are some people who were born to do what they do, and that's part of their purpose and part of their dharma. And so stand your effing ground against all the forces that make you believe that you're not meant to be where you are, that you're not meant to be doing what you're doing. If you do release a creative project, if you do get into a sort of connection, we were talking about this earlier, connection, relationship, new job, whatever, and you don't feel fully, I don't feel fully confident about it. It's okay. Again, it's the first step. It's the first flick of the domino. It doesn't always feel good. It might even hurt. It might even trigger some crap in you. But when you get to the end of the journey, when you start to like really learn and like really start to braid yourself within this connection and things start to feel organic and start to organically flow, it all happened because you made that one decision. You made that one decision to go and do this thing. I don't want to talk too much about myself in this reading, but I do want to use myself as an example. I look back, let's talk about these readings in particular, okay? These were originally oracle scopes that I would share with my membership community that I had from 2019 to 2024. For 5 years, I shared monthly readings with oracle cards. I had only been reading oracle cards for, I think, a year or so. I don't know. I had never read them publicly. I had never read anybody before. I watched back that first oracle reading from September of 2019, and it's just like, it makes me want to throw up because like the sound of my voice, my cadence, I feel like they lack professionalism. There's so much more that I could have said. Whatever. I judge myself, and I have to always bring myself back and remind myself that that was just the first domino. And here we are. Here we are. Almost 6 years later, in September, it'll be 6 years that I've been doing these readings for my community, for the world. And it's like, I'm not saying I'm the best, but I've evolved because I made that decision to do that. I have evolved, and I've evolved out of certain things. I ended up closing my membership community almost a year ago in March of 2024. And here I am. And that's allowed me to share more of my gifts and more of my messages more publicly. And so stand your ground, man. Stand your ground. Stand your ground against any forces, and allow the standing of your ground to be a protective force, not some like I don't know. I don't want standing your ground to be some like aggressive like action you feel like you need to take. Like, let it be standing your ground as protection and alignment with who you are and where you are meant to be. Standing your ground as protection, standing your ground as an act of self-love and as an act of sovereignty. That's what I mean by standing your ground. Standing your ground as an act of commitment for showing up in the world in your sacred roles. Standing your ground as an act of alchemizing. You're giving me this energy and I'm going to shift it into something else. So I'm going to stand my ground. I'm going to alchemize it into something that I really want it to be, not this crap that I'm getting. I'm going to alchemize this chaos and stand my ground to protect myself from what would have happened if I would have gone into the chaos of this energetic tornado, whatever. I can't come up with any more examples at the moment, but that's what's coming up, okay? Standing your ground is an act of protection, as an act of self-love, as an act of soul sovereignty. Whoa, 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 whoa. We are about to live through some shit in March. Wow, it's going to be so incredibly powerful and possibly uncomfortable for some. And like, I want you to know that in the discomfort, miracles can exist in discomfort too. It's actually, I think, miracles can usually erupt from discomfort. The opportunity for miracles usually erupts from discomfort. I want to say it like that. Okay, so don't like disregard discomfort or like pain or like, oh, this doesn't feel good, I'm not going to do it. That's noise. That's human noise. Don't let the human noise keep you from your miracles, okay? There's lots of discomfort. There's like, think about the birth canal. I'm a mother. Giving birth hurts. Bringing new life, precious life into the world is the worst pain I've probably ever felt in my life. Okay? And then from it, you get this ecstatic feeling of like, oh my God, I can't believe that led to this. I can't believe that pain and that like discomfort of carrying and growing a human being for 10 whole months. Yeah, it's 10, not 9. It's 40 weeks, 40 plus for some people. 10 whole months led to this amazing, beautiful new soul. And that's, again, more examples of like what I'm talking about. But like, don't disregard discomfort. I'm not telling you to go into and make things uncomfortable on purpose, because it's not going to grow your miracles even bigger. That's not what I mean. But don't disregard it. Don't walk away from it just because it's uncomfortable. Okay, let's choose our last card for March 2025 so I can go drink some tea and relax, because you hear me? I'm like on one right now. I'm like on fire. I'm lit up. Let's choose this last card. This is coming from my newest deck, the Infinite Wisdom of the Chakras deck. By these people, these beautiful people right here. Love this deck. It is my newest deck. I also want to remind y'all to watch today's Repower Hour replay. I'm wearing this exact outfit on the cover because it was a beautiful, beautiful, I'm trying to find other words for powerful, but I can't right now. It was really powerful. An energy cleansing, a grounding and protective and activating breath work meditation where we breathed into each of our energy centers and we spoke and engraved our prayers into each of our energy centers. It is a repower hour that I actually recommend that we all do monthly. I do something like this for myself daily just to keep me sustainable and a clear channel to be able to do this type of work and be able to exist in the world as I need to. But I really recommend that you do something like that or use that recording at the very least monthly, because it is just so like everything that we need energetically to remind ourselves of who we really are. Let's pull this card. Last card for March 2025. Wow, wow, wow. Of course, our final card is the card Insight, Spiritual Teacher. Connect with a spiritual teacher and tap into higher wisdom. Okay, connect with a spiritual teacher and tap into higher wisdom. Hold on. I'm not being salesy, but I just told y'all to watch that Repower Hour. This could be the sign that you need to watch that Repower Hour. It is free. I'm giving you free medicine. Like, everything costs money. Everything costs $1 million these days. Like, I feel like I offer the world so much, and I do feel like people don't take enough advantage, because I kid you not, my colleagues in the spiritual space charge for these types of things, and a lot of money. And people pay a lot of money for things. I've paid a lot of money for things that I'm just like, I can't believe I spent that much money on this. It wasn't what this person told me it was going to be. And so I strive very hard to offer a lot of value, and I think I do. And so go watch that recording. But connect with a spiritual teacher and tap into higher wisdom. This is also coming through as a reminder that you are your own spiritual teacher, that your life is a spiritual teacher. Okay, it's connecting with your life as a spiritual teacher and tapping into the wisdom that chaos is offering you. Okay, it's again going through all these things and maybe going through a uncomfortable time. We are bound to. March may not feel fucking amazing. It may not feel like this powerful portal. Portals aren't always like, they don't always feel great. Again, it's sometimes for me, in my experience, in my life, the worst and most painful things, like the loss of my sibling, that has brought me through the most transformative portals and completely revolutionized my life forever, like changed my life forever in the most amazing ways. And I'm not saying that it felt amazing to lose my sibling, because it was quite the opposite. But the ways that my life has changed and the ways that I have changed as a result of losing him in the physical realm, to make that connection for myself, to allow life to be my spiritual teacher, where I could come to the conclusion of like, wow, I get it now. I understand why these things had to happen, because if not, I wouldn't be here. And that only comes through the time that I give myself to sit and review and reflect, not just with my spirit guides and do all these things and use the tools, but with myself, with time, using time as a spiritual teacher, using the seasons and really seeing and honoring the seasons as a spiritual teacher. We can really, if we pay attention and if we are truly intentional, everything can be a spiritual teacher for us. I was actually talking to my daughter about this the other day, and just talking to her. I don't preach to her, but I do often have conversations with her about these things when they come up, because she's very curious. And I was reminding her to honor her curiosity. And I'm going to remind you about this as well, because it's also something that has been popping up a lot. And I might have mentioned this either in one of these videos or a recent Repower Hour, but it has truly been curiosity for me that has been the most life-changing spiritual teacher. Staying curious amidst the human impulses within me that make me want to think, I already know the answer to that. Or like, I know what to do. Or like reaching towards a capitalist response. Like, I know what to buy to fix this. It's like, no, let's be curious. Let's be more curious. And let's reach into the roots of this thing so that we can not only get to the actual problem, but reach a free solution. This is the most anti-capitalist spiritual ritual that I can recommend for everybody, is like, ask the questions, even if you have to ask yourself. And the way that I posed it to my daughter was, I have a pimple right here that I have concealer on because she ugly. And she found it really funny, but I was like, you know what? I got this pimple and I could do what some people do, which is like, I just got to change my face wash. I got to buy this pimple product. I got to put a patch on it. I got to do a buy and do all these things to cover it or heal it from the outside. But instead, what I know now, because I've been through these seasons of curiosity, is I need to change my diet. I need to do a cleanse. I need to go on this like cleanse. Give up some of the stuff that I'm eating that I know for sure I was eating and do not favor me, do not serve the growth and like the health and the abundance of my body. And so I got to cut back and like bring them back in moderation. And she was like, oh. And so I hope you have that oh moment of like, whatever's showing up in the surface is a signal and just a symptom, like the symptoms as signals for what is happening in the interior. Okay, using whatever is happening in our life and on our body and in our body as a messenger of our soul. And I definitely want to relate that to physical health as well, because that's really coming through as really, really important in this month of March, where it's a really beautiful time to do cleanses. And I know some of them can be harmful. So don't go taking pills to lose weight and like these really harmful juice things. Like, feed yourself. Please eat. Please eat and eat well. You don't need to spend a lot of money to eat well, but it's a really beautiful time to assess, when I eat this way, it doesn't feel good. So let me kind of like cut the shit. One of March's main messages is, let me cut the shit. Let me cut the shit. Let me cut the bullshit. Sirens for emphasis. Sirens for emphasis. And so I want to emphasize this conversation as it relates to the body, because our bodies, again, the health and the strength of our bodies is what influences the strength of our aura. If our auras are not strong, we ain't doing nothing. If your electromagnetic field is not strong, you are not going to be able to be magnetic. Connecting with the spiritual teacher within, connecting with life as a spiritual teacher, being curious, even when it comes to like other people, like not just like taking things personally, but like when somebody says some bullshit to you or says something to you, maybe it's not bullshit. Maybe your initial reaction is kind of just like to be defensive. Pause yourself, right? And just be like, I wonder why they said that. How does that make me feel? Where does this feeling come from? Is this true? Could I really be affecting this person in this way? Let's say somebody's like giving you feedback on something you said or a way that they made you feel. You could initially be really reactive and just be like, well, and you're not my friend and you're not my this. Or you can be curious and you can ask them more questions about why they feel that way. Maybe it's a them thing, but maybe it's a you thing. She's making noise for emphasis too. Maybe it's a you thing. And so life as a spiritual teacher. I also want to take this time to remind you that I do have one-on-one alignment sessions available in case you actually want to sit with a spiritual teacher to dig into your energy and into your energetic field, into your physical body, into your brain, into your subconscious, and see what it is that's popping up for you and what opportunities you're going to have and what sorts of versions of yourself exist throughout the next 12 months that you get to align with. I'm going to leave a link. The link is always in the description box, but you can also find it on melaniesantos.co to book an appointment with me. Sessions are the cheapest that they have been in many, many years because I've lowered the price. And I look forward to sitting with you all because these are just a really special time to dial into what we really need to be doing right now. What do we really need to be doing right now? How do we need to be going outside? okay? And in order for us to fully show up outside, how do we need to be protecting ourselves from the mindsets and the crap that tells us to stay inside, to stay in these patterns, to stay on these paths that don't serve us? They really don't serve us. And then when we're there, how do we stand our ground? Stand our ground against the forces of cringe, the forces of evil, the forces of bullying. Sometimes we allow others to bully us. Sometimes we bully ourselves. Stand your ground. Stand your ground. And when those forces prevail, we stand our ground anyway, and we allow life to be a teacher. We see and we tune into our third eye. We tune into the wisdom of our third eye, the wisdom of our crown, the wisdom of our bodies, to pay attention to the symptoms and the triggers and like what's really happening there. What's at the root? What's really happening for us, not to us. Thank you for giving me the incredible honor to do this reading, to offer this reading for you. Please let me know in the comments, what are you most looking forward to as you walk through this portal, through this new energetic year? What are you most looking forward to? I asked y'all to share your word of intention, and y'all are like not really commenters. It really makes me sad, to be honest, because I try not to compare myself to other YouTubers, but like people be in the comments. I want y'all to be in the comments. Let me know what your word is for the year. Yoshi's like, hello, it's time to feed me. So I'm going to go do that. But let me know, what are you most looking forward to as we enter this new year portal? I am so looking forward to all of us truly stepping into our roles for real and just putting the things out that we want to make, saying the things that we want to say, acting in the ways that we want to act, dressing in the ways that we want to dress, regardless of who tells us what and whatever we... Screw that noise, okay? Screw all the noise. Just all of us blossoming and blooming at the same time and just building this gorgeous garden throughout the earth. What a beautiful visual. I hope it serves you in the best ways. All the links and things are going to be in the description box. You can book your one-on-one alignment session with me. I will see you for Repower Hour on March 14th for the eclipse. So join us then, and I love you dearly. Thank you.